In 1944, in the small, segregated town of Alkaloo, South Carolina, a 14-year-old boy named George Stinney, Jr.B., weighed just 95 pounds. He was so small that when he was led to the electric chair, the executioners used a telephone book as a booster seat. In a trial lasting less than 3 hours, with no evidence and no witnesses for his defense, George was condemned to death. It took 70 years for the state of South Carolina to admit they were wrong. This is the tragic story of George Stinney, Jr.B. To understand George, we must understand Alkaloo. Like much of the Jim Crow South, the town was divided by railroad tracks. On March 23, 1944, Betty June Binnicker and Mary Emma Thames went out on their bicycles to pick flowers. They were last seen near the black side of town. When they didn't return, a massive search party was formed. The next morning, their bodies were found in a water-filled ditch. The town's grief quickly turned into a hunt for a culprit. Earlier that day, the girls had stopped to ask George and his sister where they could find passion flowers. George told them he didn't know. That was his only crime, being the last person seen talking to them. Law enforcement took George into custody immediately. George's father was fired, and the family was forced to flee town for their safety, leaving George alone in a jail cell. The police claimed George confessed, but there was never a written record or signature. The only evidence was the word of 3 officers. The jury was all white. George's lawyer, a tax commissioner with no trial experience, called 0 witnesses, and did not cross-examine anyone. The jury took less than 10 minutes to find George guilty. Under the law at the time, anyone over 14 was considered an adult. On June 16, 1944, George was walked to the execution chamber. He was so small the straps of the electric chair didn't fit. The mask was too big and fell off, revealing his tear-streaked face. He was pronounced dead at 7:30 p.m. in 2014. Judge Carmen Mullen vacated George's conviction, ruling his rights were violated and his confession was likely coerced. 70 years too late, George Stinney Jr.B. was effectively declared innocent. His story remains a cornerstone of the argument against the death penalty. If you found this story important, please hit the like button and subscribe. Do you think the legal system has changed enough? Thanks for watching.